teen though, which is
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Preparing. Dun, 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 dun. Setting up. Done. Redirecting to YouTube.
Teen though, which is
Okay.
good.
All right. I'm going to close
Yeah.
my YouTube.
Preparing.
I'm going to do that. All right. So for those of you who might be streaming this from the start, hey, it's been a few weeks. We're here. Now we're gonna, I like your background. Where are you?
This is Athens.
That's what I thought, but I'm like, do they really have an Athens background?
That's a
Mm.
little, it's a little too cool looking for Athens though, right?
No,
It's
but
like the Hollywood version of Athens.
I thought it looked like Athens, and I was like, really? Am I?
Oh yeah.
You can't hear this. I think that I'm saying whenever hear this little intro. Hey y'all, it is Rachel, and it is also Eddie. Sorry, I just did something. Eddie, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Um, yeah, it's been a while. We've had spring break. Um, when did we record last? In March?
Um, that's a good question.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's been a while. It's been hard to connect because you've been so busy, but also I've been kind of busy with the kids home and stuff.
Oh
So
yes, I think.
I appreciate everyone waiting for us.
Yes, thank you all so much. I think you had spring break. I was also sick that week and
Hmm.
busy. And then last week I had a
Oh
little,
no, I hired a new principal. That was another thing that I had to do on
oh,
Thursday.
that's right.
Like I sat in this job interview. It was crazy. I'm not qualified to hire a new principal, but maybe I am.
Did you like the one you found?
Yeah, I think they were all incredibly qualified candidates, which is hard to tell in a job interview that you're not familiar with. Like they all were saying the right things, and it seemed like they were all really their resumes were stacked. And um, I think the benefits it was hard to put one above the other because they were so well qualified. But I
Right.
think a familiarity with Athens, a familiarity with the district, a familiarity with the staff and teachers at the school, I think that kind of edged out any of the other contenders.
That makes sense. Because some of them were from outside of Athens, from other districts.
One of them was from the Carolinas, and then she's like teaching at Oconee, or she's like a instructional coach at Oconee or something.
Okay.
And I don't know, a little too white for my taste, which is racist, but in a good way.
Yeah, but yeah. So you have a new principal and you were part of it. That's pretty exciting. You're like,
Yeah.
you got power in that school.
Yeah, I've been talking about it, and um the more I try to be like a servant leader, like a servant of the system. I try to do the things that people need. I try to fill in the gaps in the public education machine
Mm-hmm.
with whatever a parent can do and whatever money and resources I have. The more people thrust leadership onto me and give me more and more and more responsibilities, like although I'm just trying to be a helper, I just keep falling into these like leadership roles, which is um I guess it's a talent of mine. I don't know.
That is a talent.
I
And
think
people ask you.
I got a
Yeah,
voice for leadership. I speak in a way that makes people think I'm a leader.
I like that. Apparently I speak in a way that's really combative, but whatever.
You speak in a way that's really combative,
I
but
don't know,
whatever.
but
I don't
whatever.
know. I don't know. But
Do I?
whatever.
Do I?
Do I? You want to fight about it?
I do. Am I combative?
You're being
Or
combative right now.
I know I'm being purposely good. Or am
Yeah.
I assertive?
I think you're assertive. I think you are sometimes you're not sure of yourself in a way that can manifest itself as combative, but really, that's I think everyone kind of feels those things, and
Yeah.
I think if people really listen to you and really get to know you, I think you're definitely not combative, but
No.
I do think it takes a I think I could see where you would come across as combative, but I don't really think of you as combative because you're
Gotcha.
really willing to hear other people's opinions. Like you're really willing to listen
Yeah.
and change your opinion on things, which is confrontational, but it's also kind of cool. It's like, yeah, let's have it out. Let's talk about it because I
Yeah.
want to know your perspective and I want to change my perspective. But if you're not being forthright with your thoughts, then um, I got no time for that bullshit,
Uh,
which
uh,
I feel that. I
Yeah.
just,
And I feel like part of that too is like, I think it gets the word combative, but it's like I'm trying to hear your side, but also you need to be like authentic about what you're saying, I guess, or like, yeah, fuck you, which that could be combative. But I also think because I don't have as much of a softness, but I am loyal probably almost to a fault. Like if somebody were to say something about somebody else that I care about, then yes, I can be, or I will stand up for
I
them.
think I think I would classify it not as combative. I would classify it as you are open, like open to discourse. Like
Yeah.
you're like about like let's have it out. Let's have some discourse. And people who are like um meek or I don't
Hmm.
know, like I feel like people who get their feathers ruffled easily
Yeah.
would call you combative, but that's not right. It's just like they're not used to being confronted. People
Right.
who are not used to being confronted are hard they're hard nuggets, right? They're
Yeah.
tough cookies.
And
They're delicate and
I
they
think it
also
is
oh god.
important to have some confrontational things with people. Like you can't just like bow down and be like, okay, you said that shitty thing, or like you have this other whatever. Like there needs to be and confrontational doesn't always mean yelling. I think that's the thing too, that if someone disagrees with somebody, they automatically think like you're in an argument or there's yelling. Like my voice might get more
Right, yeah.
curt, not even curt, like I try to enunciate more, I think, when I'm trying to make a point sometimes, which
Hmm.
people then say, "Oh, you're yelling." No, and honestly, if I was yelling at you, there would be no question about
Nice. I like that
it.
confidence. Yeah, I think certain families have like rules where it's like, oh, you don't talk about this, or
Right.
we do not speak of politics at the dinner table. And I feel like that's like creating a little bit of a, I don't know, that's one thing I didn't like about being in churches all the time. It's like
Mhm.
there were obviously these things that were happening that we weren't allowed to talk about. And it's like, what? Like, if you're not allowed to talk about everything, then
And
what's the point in even talking about anything?
that's true.
But I think some people were raised this way to be proper and talk a certain way.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I run into it with Southern people a lot. It's
I
like,
was going to say that I was raised as a feral northerner who was taught to question everything. So like
mhm,
I have had this, I don't know, problem. I mean, I think I've softened some of it a little bit more, like because like I don't know if there's a stereotype of Jersey girls of how we are pretty like reactive and go right to fighting and yelling, which, you know, maybe. But I've softened some of that a little bit to
makes for good TV.
and it does. So I'm like calmer confrontational or like I want to have the conversation, but I'm not just going to take your shit and listen. Depends on the person too. But yeah, since I've moved south like 3,000 years ago, it's like 3,542 years ago. I've always been told that same kind of thing. Like I was a little too questiony or too opinionated. I don't
You know,
know.
I feel like I fall into that. I don't, my voice is loud and deep, and I have to be aware of the way I sound, especially when I talk to kids or fragile individuals. Like I have to modulate my voice in a way that I don't know. I have to do a lot of vocal management. Not so much on this podcast, but in my life, there's a lot of, oh, I could see how I'm coming across as like
Gotcha.
super angry right now. And that is just something I've grown up with. I've always had like a deep voice, like even since I was a little kid.
You have a deep voice, but it's so calming.
I think, yeah, I was watching some videos. Oh, yesterday was my daughter's birthday and she turned
Happy
10. She
birthday.
turned 10. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Like 10 years I've had this roommate, which is a long time to know anybody, right?
Yes.
But it got me nostalgic and I started looking through old videos
Hmm.
and I hear my voice on these old videos and I'm like, what did I even say? Like, what am I even saying? I can't even hear it because it's so like calm and quiet and like it's almost like I didn't want it to show up on the recording. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I've always tried to pay attention to how loud my voice sounds or the way I come across when I say things is not necessarily how I feel on the inside. And so judging, like I'm a good reader of reactions and I'll really self-deprecate to combat it,
Yeah, I think I
which
do that too.
people love. People love
Yeah.
self-deprecation.
I also think like as far as like being a, I'm in school to be a therapist. And one of the things we're taught is to do supportive confrontation. Like it's important to have it's a good skill.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna let that go. I've been not been thinking about
Yeah, no, I was
letting go.
leading you
So
down the wrong path there.
no, you're fine. It's just, you have a bad week and you hear that. And
Well,
mm,
I I like to point out examples of like, like when you're in like a fun situation and then somebody just says something incredibly crazy or like insensitive
mhm,
and then nobody says anything about it, but
yes,
then we are probably the people who are like, wait, did you just say, and like in front of everybody, like, could you repeat that? Because it sounded like what you were saying is that you hate all people of a specific race. And then
right.
they're like, uh-oh, I don't want to go here. And it's like, yeah, but you need to like clarify.
Yeah, yes. I usually am what to do. Yes, that is
And then
correct.
they try to put it on you and they're like, "Oh no, that's your thing. Like you're so sensitive about this." And it's like, "No,
Right.
like you can't just say it you can't just say things a certain way and expect that to not
Mhm.
reflect upon you." I'm sure you run into these situations.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. And I also realized that I don't often, I don't always cry when I'm sad. I mean, I have cried when I'm sad, like for sure, but I cry more when I'm frustrated. And I used to apologize for that, like from crying when I get overly frustrated or something. And it actually popped up today. I was watching this like reel or a TikTok about stopping to apologize for tears. Like it's a natural release. You're releasing something. It's your body, it's water. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to let go of that because I kept apologizing I realized last week for crying. I cried a lot.
yeah. No, I think I've cried. I'm always embarrassed when I cry
Hmm.
and it makes me want to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
But like now I'll say, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." Like I'm so embarrassed that I'm crying. And that generally gets a more favorable reaction. But
I've,
still, I feel that like I'm sorry. Like
yeah.
I don't mean to make you feel because it is like when you see someone crying, it's like it's kind of manipulative, right?
I mean, but not if it's like, but if it's an involuntary reaction. Okay, there's manipulative, like if you're making yourself cry to get a reaction from someone else, that's manipulative. But if like your involuntary reaction in that moment is to cry and you can't stop it.
Oh, but so is are there different words for being manipulative without trying to be
Yeah.
manipulative? Like,
I don't think that'll be I think manipulation has to, I think maybe it's like involuntary manipulation. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just like organic, organic
I was gonna
manipulation.
say orgasmic, and I was like, well, that sounds really fun. Um,
Is that, yeah, that's a thing, right?
orgasmic manipulation.
Like let's talk about how much money I owe you after I blow you.
Yeah, but yeah, I think because I think of manipulation as being like something you do on purpose.
Right, and that's I think that's built into the word. So I think there's just a word that I don't know of where it's like I am crying because I'm moved by this thing. And when other people see me cry, they have a reaction to crying that softens their um, resolve. And being aware that one's resolve has been softened by crying could allow you to take advantage of that and maybe uh, gain some ground in an argument. This is sounding very hypothetical. I should
Yeah,
use maybe a
because
specific
now you said
example.
like okay, because you also said is there a way that I could kind of like get something out of this? But like
Right, and that would, but like recognizing that your crying is making somebody else um weaker of an arguer,
mhm.
then you have to shoot yourself in the foot and say you're sorry, or like be like, no, 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 I'm not trying to manipulate you. Let's have this conversation as if I'm not crying. But you
Well,
can't
either
go
that or
back to a time before you cried.
no, either or like have that moment of crying and then let's have this conversation. Like stepping away or being like, I need a minute. I'm having a reaction. I need a minute, and then let's talk. Because I'm there. Because
Yeah, no,
your
it's
tears are
tricky.
tears. I mean, I do apologize for crying all the time, so like it's not like I know what I'm doing. But and then like because once it gets to the point, if you start thinking like, what can I get out of this while you're crying, then you're being manipulative again. I think.
But is being aware of your crying as a tool for manipulation, can you undo it? Can you go back to a time before you cried? Like if you're if you are aware that your crying is manipulating the conversation, then do you have the responsibility to call out your own crying in order to like level the playing field once again?
If
And
well,
if you don't do that, are you a manipulator? Like if you don't do it, if you don't level the playing field by saying you're sorry or calling out your crying as some sort of heavy-handed tactic, even if it might not be intended that way, but you're aware of it and you don't call it out, then you're a manipulator, right?
that could be. I guess it could be in that moment too. Like, I still think it goes back to like, I'm sorry, I'm crying. I don't know why I'm having this reaction,
Mhm.
which that could be true or not, but um, I just need a moment. I think that's where, and then you go back. I think that's, yeah. Because I think
Yeah,
if
and
I
it's a
burst into tears in a conversation, I do like, I don't want to have that conversation anymore.
yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Like, let's table this for another time.
Yeah.
But then, that's a strategy too. Hmm.
Everything. I mean, if you really look at things, right? Like there's two people involved in some way, or three people, or whatever. There could always be, if someone looks from the outside, that some kind of strategy or gameplay being used. If you really look at like gameplay, even if you're
Yeah.
not looking at the other person, could take it as gameplay, so that's their reaction to it.
If the whole thing is just gameplay, all of this, everything we're doing is just a game. Um, and some people play it better than others, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And so that's where like I used to also like why am I saying like so much? That's where I also used to not prosper. That's not the right word, but whatever. Because I don't necessarily play the game like I'm not good with maybe it's because I'm not good with authority. Like I'm not gonna go kiss your ass because you're just because you have a title above me.
Mhm.
which makes it hard when you're like trying to advance in your career or stand
Right,
up
yeah.
for one of your, if it's like you're a teacher, if you're trying to stand up for one of your students and you're not that like kiss ass person. Like, I just want to be like, I want to be known for like what I actually do, not because like I also have to tell you all the time what I do. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to have to, like, I just want to do my work.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've been going to these like Athens GATV influencer meetups.
Mm,
The hubris of calling it an influencer meetup and myself going is like perfect. But that's what it is. It's like people constantly reminding you what their project is and what they should be known for.
mm,
And by the third or fourth meeting, it's like, oh yeah, we know you're known for this. And the influencer lifestyle is that of one who is constantly curating his or her persona.
yeah. Are there a lot of Athens influencers that go to this?
There's a lot of people who say they're Athens influencers, yeah.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of like grandstanding, hijacking. Um, it's supposed to only be like a hour and a half meeting or 2 hour meeting, and people like abusing the floor for shameless self-promotion.
Um, I hate
Um, yeah, and so I don't know, it's getting better, but it's also like newcomers are coming to kind of abuse the meetup. It's a weird idea though, like it's in the title. It's like if you're an influencer, come like talk about your shirts that you sell or whatever.
Is it supposed to be like to make to create this like collaborative, creative incubator kind of place?
I think that's the idea and like banding together in some way to pool our resources and pool our knowledge to create something actually great, something actually authentic, awesome,
Mm.
and local. And I think it's a cool idea. I think that the format is constantly evolving because of what it's becoming.
Mm, I
And
wonder.
I don't know without like many guidelines if it can go very far.
Yeah, if I was still in Athens, no, I wouldn't consider myself an influencer.
Would you consider me one?
Yes, you
Good.
can. Also, that was the first time I ever think I used incubator as like a term of like a that just made me like, ew, I just said incubator.
It's such an influencer term,
I
right?
know. Yeah.
We're all sharing our products that we're obligated to talk about.
Is there like one person who thinks they're like the biggest influencer in Athens?
There's a couple from Atlanta that are like, um, this is what I do. Like they're serious
Are they
about,
coming from Atlanta?
yeah.
By the way, totally off the subject, but you said Atlanta, so I'm
I,
going with it.
that's the
I
subject.
started I started watching Married to Medicine.
Married to Medicine?
hmm So it's another reality show, and it's been on for a while. But when it started, I was like, I can't. I gave myself this rule of like, you can't keep starting new reality shows that are going to be on forever. But everybody says it's so good, so I finally decided to get a new job. And my
Okay.
new job in the past couple of weeks has been Married to Medicine. Every time I have a break or everything else, like it's a job, like I'm really committed. I have some commitment issues
So
in a
it's
relationship.
reality. It's like there are actual people who are married to medical doctors. Is that what the
So
premise
you,
is?
you're either so one of the spouses is a doctor, whether it's sometimes it's both spouses are a doctor, sometimes the husband's the doctor, sometimes the wife's the doctor. Just every couple's different, but it's
There's
based
got to
on
be one doctor at least.
yes, except for unless you get divorced and you were the non-doctor in the couple, you can stay on the show.
I like that.
So yeah, so this
Those
I
sound like the real interesting people.
no, this is like yeah, they are something, and I think it's like 11 or 12 seasons, something like that. And it's
Dang.
funny because it went back to like 2014. I don't know when it started. I can't remember. But to see like the makeup and the clothing, it's just kind of funny. You can tell it's
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but yes, this I can commit to. Relationships or other things or like going out to like meet somebody for dinner. No. Committing to 11 seasons of a TV show, that can be my job. That I can commit to. It's low stakes. It's not, but it's really high. But I'm watching Married to Medicine, and this, there used to be one in LA too, but the whole franchise started in Atlanta. So they're all Atlanta doctors. And there was a new one a couple seasons ago, Dr. Contessa. And the woman who doesn't like her calls her Cone Tessa. But anyway, Dr. Contessa, her and her husband are both, I think like family medicine or something. Well, they're supposed to live in Atlanta. I'm assuming they do. I don't know. And I'm watching the show, and her son, I'm looking at the TV. I'm like, am I seeing this right? Forgot it was in Atlanta too for a second. I forgot I was watching reality shows because it's whatever. He was had a green shirt on. I recognized the logo, and it was a Spartans shirt. Do you know who the Spartans are?
Is that a basketball team?
No, think of a local school.
Okay. No, I don't know.
Okay, Athens Academy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was
Cool.
like, do they go to Athens? I was trying to, because I used to teach yoga at Athens Academy. I'm like, did I have any of their kids when they were there? Did they really go to Athens Academy, or was it? But he seemed to be wearing an Athens Academy shirt to school. Um, so yeah, I don't know where they actually live. They could live like Monroe or something, because people come that far to go to Athens Academy. But I was like, felt like I felt like I knew somebody.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's a fun show. It's a fun show.
I was talking about like how people love the medical profession on television. Like
Yeah,
ER was going on for a long time, but isn't Grey's Anatomy like in its 30 something
it's
season or
still on. And
yeah.
then this show, I haven't been able to watch it yet because I don't have Max. So if anybody, hey y'all out there listening, if any of y'all want to give me your Max login, I'd be very nice.
Yeah.
I won't abuse it, but there's a few shows I want to watch. Hacks just came back out, and I want to watch The Pit, which
Oh,
is the new medical drama that um, Noah Wiley from what did you say? Oh my God, what did you say?
Grey's Anatomy? Oh, ER.
ER is in it, and he's like the main character. It's supposed to be amazing. And then I watched another one on Hulu or Netflix called like The Beat or Heartbeat. I don't know what it was called. That was pretty good. But yes, people love medical dramas.
Yeah, I got my wife recommended this book to me and I started reading it and it had all these like really detailed surgeries happening where they would
Mm.
talk like in detail about how the surgery was going. And she's like, "Isn't it just a great book?" And I'm like, "No, it's gross. Like, ew, I don't like thinking about like cutting people's arms open and any of that stuff is just like gross to me." But she was not fazed by it. She thought it was like super cool and amazing. And I think maybe that's why I'm not that into like medical dramas or medical things because I'm just like, ew,
I like
I'm
the
squeamish.
relationships in medical dramas, and sometimes I like to think about surgery. But the reason I first became vegetarian was because it was from a movie. It happened to be about cannibalism. It wasn't medical, but they were talking about like cutting through people. Like it's this very famous movie. It was an Italian comedy. It was like was it Delicatessen? Might have been Delicatessen. I don't know. But it was like at the end of the world, there was this hotel or this little community left, and they were bringing people in for fake jobs and then chopping them up for food.
Hmm.
And there were no more people left, so they had to take a vote on. Like, I think it is Delicatessen. I don't know. They took a vote on who to kill first, like the older people or the younger people. And then it was like somebody's granny was on the table, and they were like, "I'll take the shoulder, I'll take the leg, whatever." And I'm like, all I could think about after that was cutting through skin, and like I didn't eat meat for like 10 years.
Yeah, meat's gross, especially
Now
when it's human meat, right?
Right, human meat is gross, but now I've had to put it aside because it's not even like I've gotten past that, but my body, I have to listen to my body, so they say, and my body craves meat sometimes. Like I can go for weeks without meat, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I need fucking meat in my mouth.
Mm. I knew you were headed there. I was thinking I'm gonna come to the defense of cannibalism and say birds eat other birds. Is that cannibalism?
I guess it would be. I watched a bird eat another bird a few weeks
Yeah,
back.
like owls will wreck a chicken. I know
When,
that.
well, a bird flew into my window and I felt horrible because it wasn't the first bird to fly into my window. And the bird died. And this fucking other bird like zoomed right down. It was just like,
Yeah,
you just saw
lunch.
feathers go flying. I was like, damn, this poor like, and I feel like they were the same species bird. Maybe it's not cannibalism when it's like an owl eating a bird because they're two different kind of birds, right?
Right, but if an owl ate
Owl eats
another
an owl.
owl, I see.
But if it survived, but let's say this too. If I was in a plane crash, like, that old plane crash, that soccer team.
Yeah, I'm thinking when you said owl eating an owl, I'm like wondering what level of, like the classification system where it's like
Mhm.
kingdom, phylum, class, order. I wonder how far up you have to go to eat things and it's not considered cannibalism. Because if we ate gorillas, that'd be kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
But what were you going to say about the Argentinian plane crash?
Oh, I would eat people at that point.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's also a thing. Like, if you swallow cum, is that cannibalism?
That is saving the world. I think it's being kind to another human being because, well, first of all, it's protein. So, like, yes, you are getting a body fluid from somebody else, and now that's disgusting in my head. But yes,
Oh, I didn't mean to ruin it for you.
no,
Um,
you won't. I will never because here's the thing. Like, let's say you're with somebody and you're like really like even if you're not really into them, but you're going down on them and come in your mouth, and then you're like spitting it out next to them. Like that's like I don't know. I feel like that's not kind.
you think that's rude?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I bet we'll get a lot of comments on if that's rude or not, right?
Like it's like, oh, I like you, but not enough to like, I'm gonna spit out all your fluids. They're good enough to be in you. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if
Yeah, I think it's a person to person basis though. You can get some really different
you're right.
vibes from people's cum.
That's true, but I don't think I've ever spit out cum. It's very good protein. It's really good for you. It's also, by the
There's
way,
another like, oh, go ahead.
no, that's okay. It's really good for your skin. So if instead of spitting it out, like you can make it sexy, like new skincare, just wipe it all over your
Oh,
face
whoa, yeah.
because it's really
That
good for your
is
skin.
I feel like
Unless they got funky cum, well, first of all, I had this friend.
with the funkiest cum.
No, they didn't. No, no, no. I don't think I've ever been in a funky cum, but that I can think of. If I did, I erased it. No, but they told me once that their partner's penis area smelled and tasted like mushrooms,
Okay. That's not a good sign, right?
right? And I'm like,
Unless it's like porcini, which I mean, that's a good
"Mm."
mushroom.
There are a lot of mushrooms I like, but when I think about like mushroom smell, like if I just think about like the button mushroom and then like they got like a little moldy and that smell,
Well, mushrooms are fungus, so I just feel like associating a fungus with a sexual organ is usually like there's something wrong there, like you need some treatment.
right? And would you, and like they didn't want to tell their partner, which is like already telling, but also they kept going down on them.
Hmm. Yeah. That's gonna cause some like trauma for
Yeah.
sure.
So
For
every time,
both of them, maybe.
and then every time they're not together anymore. They haven't been together for a really long time. But every time I saw this person, I couldn't look them in the face. I couldn't look at them at all because I'm like, oh, some kind of funky smells going on down there.
Yeah.
But it's also like
You don't want to be known for mushroom
for Mushroom Dick. No,
mushroom
I can't
dick.
remember
Yeah.
his name, but I remember.
You
But
just
it doesn't
started
matter.
calling him mushroom dick after that.
But that's also like if you think about like I'm thinking about somebody in particular, but people who work in kitchens. I'm just going to use that as an example, right? Kitchens are who work all day as chefs or sous chefs or whatever.
Mhm.
My bleh ex did. Um, they all get like swamp ass because it's so sweaty in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have to like, am I going to want to like? uh, They would need to take a shower before I was like going to even think about like blowing them. But there's also, I think sometimes there's a particular like just a little bit of that sweatiness on somebody can be so fucking sexy in general.
Yeah, no, I feel like if you both go play tennis or not go for a run, but if you do like if you do some pickup basketball with somebody and then you get down in the sex with them, then it's like, okay,
Yeah. You just
this
said
is like we worked on this together.
you said pick up basketball, and I'm thinking about basketball, and I don't know why that just turned me on.
I've been watching L Word. There's all sorts of erotic sports scenes.
I know, I'm just thinking about like, ooh, like rubbing up against it. Yeah, I got all like, I want to go. Maybe I'll go find a pickup basketball game.
But then again, like if you just have like a person who has done some pickup basketball,
That's not the
you're
well,
like, go ahead and take a shower.
yeah. But if you're doing
But
it
if you
together,
do
that's
it
not
together, yeah.
because if you think about it too, like when you're having sex, you're gonna both gonna get a little sweaty or a lot sweaty, and
Hmm.
it's like kind of cool. But then, yeah, yeah. If only one per, although like, okay, I was at somebody's house. I was at this was a long time ago. I was at Dubai's house. And I got there and he was going he waited till I got there to go work out. Why? I don't know. Because I think that just my timing was off because I left earlier than he thought I was because I always leave early to get places. So I got there early. So he went to go work out, a short workout, and I just like took a nap from like because I drove for three something hours, three something, whatever. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna go work out. And he walked in the door, and all I could think about was like, oh, that's sweaty, like him thinking about him working out and like the sweat from the working out, how hard he worked out. I'm like, I just wanted to jump him when he walked back in from working out, but he wanted to
Oh
shower
yeah.
first.
No, I'm attracted to a sweaty. I don't know. I like sweaty people. I
I
think they're
think it's more like
hotties.
also like because there was something about that sweat. I think it's how different pheromones too, like how they react with each other. Because there are some people that would come back from the gym and I'd be like, oh my God, you're disgusting. And there's some people I'd be like, holy shit. I would
There's
wipe that sweat off you.
there is a limit though. Like too much sweat. Like if you just ran a marathon, that's like too much sweat.
I was
Like
just
I'm like,
like,
you're drenched. That's disgusting.
and
Like
you
get
may have
away.
pooped and peed on yourself too if you ran a marathon.
Yeah. Or people who are not that good at working out and they work out a little bit but get super sweaty. Like, oh, come on, you gotta fix that.
Yeah, and I'm not like I don't think I'm super sweaty. You know where I get the most sweaty? Not that you really care.
I do, yeah.
Thank you. My back. I get
Oh,
like
back
nervous
sweating.
back sweaty.
Hmm. That's a thing.
Yeah, and I'm not like I was talking about this someone just recently because they were asking. We were talking about deodorant, and I only use an anti. Wait, I only use a deodorant, not an antiperspirant. Is that right? Is that like the healthier one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And I realized like I'm not a big underarm. I think when I was younger, I was more of an underarm sweater. But yeah, I'm definitely like I'm sitting here right now. I'm like, yep, my back's already sweaty.
Hmm.
I don't know why. I don't. You really don't need to get
No,
it.
back sweat is like a thing that I've learned about in the South because it's so humid here.
Hmm.
Like in the summertime, if you're going outside, you just need to be prepared to have your shirt stick to your back,
Yeah,
whether or not whether or not you do anything of strain at all. Like even if you just walk out to check the mail and you come
true.
back and then your shirt's all stuck to your back, you just have to live with it.
You do.
And
And
it's
sorry.
disgusting feeling.
Yes.
Um, It's disgusting looking too, but I think
Yeah.
since we're all kind of living here, we all just like accept it.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I made the mistake. I remember when my first day of college, I was in New Orleans. It's like August, and like all the little freshman girls like put on their makeup and like tried to look all good. And you walk outside like first thing in the morning, and your makeup's just like dripping off your face. Some of the classrooms don't really have proper air conditioning. All your clothes are drenched. But I also because I don't think I'm like super bougie, but in some ways I am. There's some things I get bougie about. And I know that about myself, or I get like classes. I don't know what the right word is if it's actually bougie. Um, but there's certain things like I say I'm not like a label whore, but in some ways I am sometimes. Like I want to buy a specific label, I want it to look a certain way. And not that I bought it like super expensive. I didn't buy like a sports car or anything or like a really high-end car. But when I got my new car, I got sucked into the fact that this particular one had a really nice sunroof and leather seats because leather seats just look more expensive, right?
Yeah, they are
But
more expensive, right?
they are. I'm in fucking Texas. It gets like to 115 degrees in this summer, and I decided leather seats were what were going to sell me on this car and make me pay like $5,000 more.
Yeah,
Not that
no.
much more, but yeah. So now I'm like in my car, and I'm like, first of all, if I'm wearing shorts and I've like gone to sit down in my seat and I burn the back of my legs.
Oh yeah, it's blistering in the
Yeah.
summer.
And then I sit back and I'm like immediately like drenched. There's like sweat going down my butt crack from my back because it touched the. I don't make
Leather
it a
seats can
point.
be nice in cold climates because you can use like they can heat up with like seat warmers.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
that
okay. Yes, I have a seat warmer, but here's a question. And maybe they do now. Why don't they have fucking seat coolers? Do they have that now?
seat coolers? I don't think so, but yeah. That like I don't know how they would do it, but I'm sure someone could figure that out, right?
Let's put that on our invention list.
Our invention list, like that, yeah, that would be great if we just had a bing, like a huge list of inventions.
Yeah, we can do that.
I could probably do that. No, I can't do that. You
You
can't
might
do that in Zoom, can you?
maybe.
Captions, whiteboard.
Oh, whiteboard.
No.
Oh my gosh. For those of you who are not um, watching the live stream ever or going to our YouTube channel, you're missing out on all of the exciting things like a
What did you
whiteboard.
say? Car seat coolers?
Yeah,
All right.
so small.
Is that too small?
No, it's okay. I don't know where it goes. Like, can you? Oh, there we go.
Let's change the font though, right?
I think we should change the font. Does this get saved? Can we keep adding to this?
I'll try, but
Because you know what? We have some good
ooh,
ideas sometimes, and they
ooh.
just should. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. My phone just beeped. No, not my
Hmm.
phone, my watch, and it says Eddie, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm on. Is Eddie texting me during? And what it's saying is that you created a whiteboard.
Yeah, I
I'm getting a
totally did.
notification. But I was like, why are you yeah, I'm like, and then I'm like, wait, am I not talking to Eddie? Is this his evil twin that on with today?
I'm gonna close whiteboard
Okay.
because that was a lot.
Okay. Um, I don't know what I was gonna say. Some
Do you want to talk more about? I have more to say about cannibalism. Um,
yes, go
this will be
ahead.
the last thing I say about it, but my
Okay.
wife, when she had our babies, she got the placenta dried out and encapsulated into pills and
Hmm.
then ate the pills.
Some people put placenta in like their smoothies, like or
Yeah.
like they have it. Don't some people keep it like not dried out, where they have it in like
Oh, yeah. I think
corn?
some people will just blend it up and drink it.
Yeah. But also, okay, this isn't cannibalism because it's just like for babies, I get it. Like nursing mothers, that's human nature. But what
Hmm.
about when someone is nursing and their partner or their person they're having whatever someone drinks their baby that person's breast milk because it's not for nursing at that point.
Just drinking breast milk?
Yeah, like if okay, let's say I had a girlfriend, which is not going to happen because unfortunately I liked it too much. I wish I didn't, but that's sometimes, but that's just how I was born.
Okay.
Okay, but I had a girlfriend and she just had a baby and the baby's nursing. Cool. That's what's supposed to happen, right? But then I was like, "Ooh, I want to drink your breast milk."
Girl, I want to drink your breast milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that weird. I feel like I know that there have been breast milk ice cream places before,
Mm-hmm.
and it's super expensive. But what it gets into is like this, like what you would, how you would compensate someone for their breast milk kind of becomes a question. Because if you just get it for free, like that's slave labor, right?
Mm-hmm. There's also I think it's really cool that there's I don't know how we suddenly got to talking to breast milk, but that there's breast milk banks where people could send their breast milk to so people who are low or aren't able to.
Yeah, breast milk was really having a moment there for a while, but I don't know what happened to it.
I
I
don't know.
just probably checked out,
I mean, maybe because
didn't
of
follow it.
yeah, it could be also because like you're kind of out of that world at the moment.
Yeah, it's in the past. I have a
Yeah,
10-year-old now.
that's insane. What's a 10-year-old party like? Is it a
We
sleepover?
got a skate night at the local skate station.
Fun. And
It's
do
gonna
you
be neon disco blacklight.
whoa and
Yeah.
any sleepovers or anything after, or is it a
I think there will probably be a small sleepover afterward too.
I
Yeah.
love sleepover parties.
Yeah, they're
I
fun.
want to have an adult sleepover party. Actually, I guess
Sleepover parties for kids has really turned into just like unleash the tablet time. Like they
okay.
can just spend
Yeah.
as much time as they want on their
I
tablets.
I I guess like for me adult slumber parties, I guess I have had them because I have like friends like when we go traveling together if we share a room. I am gonna be I'll talk about this next time. I am gonna be heading out of town for a couple days. But um and I have to yeah, I'll talk about that more next time. Hello- Hey, what's that called? When you leave a little crumb? It's like teaser.
Oh yeah, a
And
little teaser.
oh, that's not that exciting.
You got some saucy story for next
I
week?
do. Maybe it's not really. Well, hopefully, I'm going to make it saucy.
Nice.
So, do you have anything coming up that you want to share?
No, just keep checking back to athenspublic.com for new links, and I'm refreshing the podcasting aspect of it. There should be a
Excellent.
new episode of Brownstone Yoga soon and maybe some more containerized freight. So just
Excellent.
keep looking out for it.
And I'd still love to do the little commercial spot whenever, whatever you call promo spot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot completely about that.
That's okay. It just popped into my head too. And for all of you, go to my so-called mess Instagram and tell me. Also, if you are a spitter and that bothered you that I said that spitters are rude, I want to hear your comments. I didn't really mean rude, but you know. But also send us your questions, feedback. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. And I think that's it. Is that it? Okay. Well, until next time, y'all. Oh, it's also it's almost masturbation May. I guess here. Start stocking up on your toys. Masturbation May is in half a month. So peace out. Great. What just happened? Where did it all go?
Oh no, the recording
It
didn't
was just
record.
oh no, I think it did. Maybe it just doesn't like I hit stop and then it went like boom. Maybe that's just how it looks all the time. I hope it recorded. Oh, it was Valentine's Day episode.
Oh, so this will be
Um,
215.
214. Oh no, this should be 215.
I can check.
No, it came up episode two. Even if my numbers are off, I have one 215, 214 on here. So I'll just do 215. It's fine. Episode two, because 214 came up on my saving thing. That makes sense.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that means
Um,
you already saved a
yeah.
214.
So I,
I was
so
thinking something about like cannibalism or eating Or
I was
you
think
said something
I said
about like,
something like, I need meat in my mouth.
yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay. All right. Y'all who are following us in on YouTube, thank you so much. I look like I just rolled out of bed this morning, but kind of did. Um, let's see. All right. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Eddie, this time is still good for me next week.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I hope we get a chance to record next week. If we can work it in, we can work it in. Just keep me posted on
Yeah,
your
no, next
schedule.
week should be good. Last week was just like a shit show of a week. But this time of day, I don't have clients anymore and before my 10 a.m.
Yeah, when would we record? I remember we were recording at night for a long time or something like that. And then we started recording in the morning and we're like, this is way better, right?
Yeah, when were we recording at
Were,
night?
was it at night or was it just like, I don't remember. I remember when we switched to mornings though, we were like, oh, this is so much nicer.
It was, I think we were both like, and I was more like, maybe we were doing like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something where it was like that midday slump.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely felt like I wanted to be taking naps at that time.
Yeah, my energy level was bloop. And I never think of myself as a morning person, but I think I am. I think I have to just admit it.
Yeah, let's just lean into it, right?
Okay, we can do that. All right, well, you have a wonderful day. Don't let your, I don't know, I was gonna say, don't let your something. I have no idea.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
No, that wasn't even it.
Break a leg.
Sure, break a leg today. I mean, no,
Ah.
don't. Shit.
Don't break a leg.
Don't break a leg. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.